Okay, good afternoon, Hofstra fans. Welcome to our stream of the Ohio State as they take on your Hofstra Pride in the first dual meet of the season for the wrestling team. Ohio State comes into this duel ranked number 6. They were just at Columbia earlier today where they won 49-0 in a very dominant performance. So many of these guys are on their second match of the day. Ohio State comes in with a 3-0 record. This is Hofstra's first dual meet of the season. Going over those Ohio State duels, they had a 24-12 victory over number 3 Virginia Tech and a 53-0 win over Edinburgh. The last meeting of these teams of Ohio State and Hofstra was February 16th of 2014 at National Duels in Columbus, Ohio, where Ohio State won 29-10. And the time before that was all the way back in 2010. So this is an exciting meetup. Some of the history of these two schools. Coach Tom Ryan for Ohio State, he coached here at Hofstra from 1995 to 2006. He led the Pride to 6 consecutive conference crowns and a 47-match unbeaten streak in dual action during the 2001 to 2006 seasons. And he coached head coach Dennis Papadopoulos from 1997 to 2001. So, very exciting matchup here today. Again, the Pride is opening their season. This is their first duel of the season. It's here at home in the David S. Mack Sports and Exhibition Complex, normally the basketball gym, so this is also doubly exciting for them. I'm Olivia Hillstead, and I'm joined here with Peter Nicolino. Peter, if you could tell us a little bit about Hofstra's starting lineup.
So, as you said, Olivia, Hofstra doesn't really have history on their side right now. 0-6 all-time against Ohio State. First one coming in January 9th, 1980. And then, as you said, all the way up to February 16th, 2014. But looking at the rosters right now, we've got Eric Schindel to start us off. 165-pounder Eric Schindel. He'll be going up against Isaac Wilcox.
He'll be going up against Eric Hepner, actually.
Eric Hepner.
Excuse me.
Late time changes so far. We still have all that information going in. Schindel right now, he's having himself a pretty all right season. He started off wrestle-offs before in the preliminaries for the season, beating freshman Matthew Waddell, and then ended up going 0-3 in the Journeyman Classic, still looking for his first one, but then got it and went 2-2 in the Princeton Open, beating Damian Weaver of Rutgers and Owen Quinn of Lehigh. So Schindel seems to be starting us off and will open at 165. Then moving on to Frank Volpe at 157. Looks to be that way.
After 165, we'll move to 174.
We'll move to 174.
Good old Ross McFarland.
Ross McFarland, of course, team captain. He's 2-1 right now, beating Orlando Cruz of Purdue and Luke Rada of Harvard. That was at the Journeyman Classic earlier this year. And he's had himself quite an eventful time here at Hofstra. He's a red-shirted junior coming out of Pennellville, New York, but he'll be highlighting us for 174. Then moving on to 184, we will have Will Conlon. Will Conlon, a freshman out of Hoover, Alabama. Conlon beat out Erickson Velasquez in the wrestle-offs for freshmen as of right now. 2-1 in the Journeyman Classic, beating Anthony Diolisio of LIU. And that one actually ended up going into overtime, first overtime match so far this year for the Hofstra Pride. Ended up going 1-2 then later in the Princeton Open, only beating Anthony Moscatello of Princeton. Beat him 9-0 in that one, so another guy to look out for in Will Conlon. Moving on to the 197 division, we have Nick Miller. Nick Miller had himself a pretty eventful wrestle-off, so I have to say. He tech-falled Gavin Prophet. Prophet, of course, a freshman out of Peachtree City, Georgia. Then had himself a pretty eventful Journeyman Classic, going 2-1, beating John Souza and Thomas Godby. But moving on to the biggest heavyweight division, Keaton Kluver, who has kind of been, I have to say, the highlight of the season so far, Olivia. Right now at 285, he's ranked 20th on Intermat and 12th on WrestleStat. So peaking at 12, not bad. A very interesting match to watch out for at 285.
And right now we're going to pause as the PA and some of the other guys here bring us into the match, and we'll be back for that first match starting at 165, Schindel and Hepner.
freshman from Wilbraham, Massachusetts, Cam Ice. At 149-pound weight class for Ohio State, a redshirt senior from Curtis, Ohio, Dylan DeMilio. And for Hofstra, a freshman from Moline, Illinois, Noah Tapia. At 157-pound weight class from Ohio State, a redshirt sophomore from Chesterland, Ohio, Patty Gallagher. For Hofstra, a freshman from Hoplock, New York, Frank Holtby. At 165-pound weight class, a senior for Ohio State from Holiday, Utah, Isaac Wilcox. And a redshirt junior from Avon, Ohio, Bryce Heppner. For Hofstra, a junior from Montauk, New York, Matt Rogers. At 174-pound weight class for Ohio State, a redshirt senior from Powell, Ohio, Carson Hartzlaw. And for Hofstra, a redshirt junior from Hennellville, New York, Ross McFarland. And a freshman from Gallion, Ohio, Seth Shoemate. And for Hofstra, a freshman from Hoover, Alabama, Will Conlon. At the 197-pound weight class for Ohio State, a redshirt freshman from Upper Arlington, Ohio, Luke Gita. And for Hofstra, a junior from Lock Haven, Pennsylvania, Nicholas Miller. At the 285-pound weight class for Ohio State, a redshirt freshman from Maryville, Pennsylvania, Nick Feldman. And for Hofstra, a graduate from Buchanan, Wisconsin, Keaton Kluver. And a redshirt freshman from Miami, Florida, Adrian Sands. And a freshman from Erie, Pennsylvania, Danny Church. The Ohio State assistant coaches are Will Jordan and Logan Stever. The associate head coach is Jay Jaggers, and the head coach of the Buckeyes. Please welcome back former Hofstra coach Tom Ryan. Hofstra is coached by Dennis Papadopoulos, who is in his 10th season at his alma mater. The associate head coach is Ernest James, and the assistant coaches are Cody Russell and Charles Small. Today's officials are Jeffrey Washington and Steve Marcus. gentlemen, at this time, we ask you to please rise, if you can, and join us as we honor America and those who protect it with the playing of our national anthem.
And we are back. About to start our first match of the dual meet. Excuse me. It'll be Matt Rogers at 165 for the Pride against Bryce Hepner, Ohio State Buckeyes. Hofstra will be in the gold singlet today. Ohio State in the black. And for points, Hofstra will be green and Ohio State will be red. Hepner coming in, number 18 guy. He did not compete earlier with the team against Columbia today. I believe this is his first match of the season. For Rogers, this is also his first match of the season, I believe. And it'll be off to quick start with Hepner now earning first takedown of the match, working an arm bar now on Rogers. He's got to be careful, that arm. He sinks legs in for a leg ride, really flattening Rogers out.
I tried a quick 2 for Hepner there.
Excuse you, quick 3.
Quick 3, now it's 3.
It's a reminder, this will be a little tricky for us and for all the officials. This season is the NCAA Rules Committee changed some of the scoring rules. Takedowns are now with 3 points, which still some debate on how much of a difference that's making in matches, but I think it's pretty significant as Hepner goes for a shot, trying to come out the back.
Earlier in the season, Coach Papadotto said the rule changes in the 3-point takedowns not really much of an effect, but we'll have to wait and see on his opinion on that as this season progresses. Another 3 there for Hepner there in both of their first matches of the season.
Thing with the 3-point takedown, which we saw in Ohio State's earlier meet against Columbia, is it's really easy to get those points up for a tech fall, which of course 15 points more than your opponent, and that might be what we see some of today as Ohio State comes in as, like I said, the number 6 ranked team. Most of their guys, if not all their guys on this lineup today, are ranked very high, so it'll be they're very competitive in short.
Hepner has great control of the feet. No, he just gave it up. He's going to look to change positions here.
Let's see if he lets Rogers up or continues to work for a tilt. So Rogers is building his base but hasn't really made it. Hepner now on a Turk, trying to tilt for some near fall. Near fall also one of those points that changed this season. It's now can be rewarded 2, 3, or 4 rather than just 2 or 4. But that's not all the They're going to reset stalemate call by the referee. So there's 13 seconds left in this first period. 6-1, of course, Hepner in the lead. Riding time is now at almost 2 minutes.
Good jump by Rogers.
Papadato's getting very worked up about this. That'll do it for the first period. Hepner will defer. Rogers will take neutral to start the second period.
With Rogers taking neutral, you have to think about what his mentality is going into this. He needs to get some points. He's down by 5 right now.
As Hepner gets easy double for another 3.
Well, that might get rid of his strategy there.
Hepner is coming in ranked number 18. He is redshirt junior out of Avon, Ohio. Lots of Ohio guys, obviously, on this Ohio roster. Oh, and he's going to go for a banana split or drops it. Hepner, of course, is up 9-1 right now, just dominating this match, as to be kind of expected. But the Pride will have some big, heavy hitters, you could say, later in this dual meet. As Hepner let's try and create space with Rogers to give him the escape so he can go for another takedown, and that'll give Rogers an escape, brings it to 9-2. Over 3 minutes of riding time for Hepner as we get to about 35 seconds left in the second period. Stall warning will be awarded to Rogers as Hepner is now working out the back for another takedown. He's got to be a little bit careful with the leg there. And still working, and that'll do it for a takedown to put him up 12-2.
The shoot of the double leg working nice for Hepner. Eventually getting that takedown. Just wrapping up Rogers efficiently.
Going in the third period, Hepner will get choice. Just needs another pick neutral. Just needs another takedown to secure this tech fall. Of course, Rogers still fighting, looking to get some points to distance that possibility. Rogers holding on to Hepner's ankle. Good way to continue the scramble. Prevents Hepner from scoring, and that'll do it. Excuse me. That will do it for the match, as Hepner wins by technical fall 18-3 in the third period. That'll put Ohio State up 5-0.
Not the start the Pride had been looking for, but hopefully bouncing back here with Frank Volpe.
Ross McFarland, as we move up in the weight classes to 174. McFarland, so far, had a pretty good start to the season. He's going into his redshirt junior year. He is coming in as one of the team captains. Had a pretty good performance at the Journeyman Classic. Had a pretty good performance at EIWA's last season. This should be a good match. It will be a good see McFarland take on a ranked guy with Harklaw, who is ranked number 7 or 5, depending on what ranking system you're using. What ranking site, I should say.
Harklaw 4-2 on the year right now, 1-1 in dual meets. 3 tech falls on the year of those 4 wins, so obviously looking to do it again here today.
Working through some hand fighting here. Harkla trying to set up a rush, and McFarland, did a good job. Not letting him control the ties here. McFarland trying to work to a front headlock position here. The edge of the mat still in. And Harkla will get takedown there on the edge of the mat. Still in, and now they will go out. I'll put him up 3-0. Minute 40 left in this match. Thing about McFarland, he can take on these tougher guys. He just had a match against, blanking on his name, but a former EIWA champion, and he goes toe-to-toe with these guys. He's got the experience. He knows what it's like to come back from being down, so he'll get the escape.
Well, as you had said, in the Journeyman Classic, going 2-1, beating Orlando Cruz of Purdue and Luke Rada of Harvard, didn't allow a single point in either one of those matches. So, as of right now, Harklaw's takedown is the first points he's allowed all year.
Harklaw's got him in the front headlock now, trying to work around. On the side of the mat, we can hear Hofstra's new assistant coaches. Peter, would you like to tell us about some of the new coaches the Pride has brought on this season?
Well, a stalling just called there by official Trevor Washington in that one. But talking about assistant coaches here, Cody Russell, Charles Small, assistant strength and conditioning coach DJ Melgar, all of which training quite a successful, I'd have to say, a successful Hofstra Pride wrestling team so far this year. I've been pretty impressed with what we've seen so far.
They're good additions to the team. Jamie Franco, of course, left to go coach up at Columbia, which Ohio State faced earlier today. A stall warning worded as Harkla gets another takedown. Bring it up to 6-1 as we get to 15 seconds left in this first period. McFarland now has to see if he can work up and out. Short time, though. And we'll go into the second period. 6-1, riding time 29 seconds. McFarland's choice. He'll take bottom. This is, of course, Cody Russell and Charles Small's first dual meet as well, coaching for the Pride. So that's why I bring that up. Charles Small, of course, wrestled for Hofstra before doing grad assistance at Purdue and then coming back to the Pride. McFarland gets the escape there. You have 6-2 and then some action right on the edge of the mat here.
Yeah, Marla, McFarland has really stayed in here in this one, only down by 4 at this point. Still good ways to go in the second period.
Mm-hmm. As for Harkla, he moved up to 174 this season. He placed 7th at the NCAA tournament in 2022, but was out after the round of 12 last season. So, high-level guys here.
Yeah, and to make that adjustment and still be ranked at 6th right now, quite the athlete in Harkla, as McFarland a good escape there.
Seen multiple guys on this Ohio State lineup choose to move up weight classes. generally, recently, from what I've seen, when they move up, tend to do better. Don't know if it's the pressure of cutting the weight, but back to this match. Harklaw takes a shot. Be working, trying to work around, and Harklaw will go up to 2-9. McFarland did try to look for an ankle there, to keep the scramble going. McFarland's now got to work his way up and get some offense going. Stay in this. 20 seconds left in this second period. McFarland doing a good job controlling hands, not letting Harklaw set up any tilts. As we enter this third period, 9-2 right now, minute and 14 on the riding time clock. Harklaw will take bottom.
Archibald leads the quarter 9-2.
McFarland was able to beat number 20 ranked Philip Congelario of Harvard last year. Ended up going 15-11 in 26 matches, 7-4 in EIWA action as well.
A nice spiral, trying to keep Harklaw down. Harklaw's going to try to control hands though. McFarland's got to follow. No escape yet. There's the escape. Brings it to 2:10. Did bring riding time down under a minute as Harklaw goes for another shot. And he'll get another takedown. Brings to 13-2. Minute 15 left in this third period. McFarland right now could look to bring it down to a regular decision. Currently at a major decision right now. So he gets an escape, make it 3-13. So he takes a shot. Harklaw bends it easy. McFarland trying to work. Got an underhook right now.
Risky gamble by McFarland almost cost him there, but you got to take gambles like that when you're down 13-3.
About 15 seconds left in this third period. Harklaw takes a shot, trying to come out the back, trying to finish, and no points yet, and he'll get 3 right as the buzzer goes. So that'll be major decision victory, 16-3 for Ohio State.
Yeah, and that last 3 was kind of just for, I'd say, pride at that point, making it 17-3.
Yeah. Fight until the end. That's the Ohio State guys. I will say they're impressive. They fight hard. They're strong. They're always on the attack. You're watching really good wrestling right now. That will bring Ohio State's total up to 9-0 against the Pride. And we'll move up to 184, where Will Conlon will make his Hofstra duel debut as the freshman takes on Hoffman, number 10 Hoffman for Ohio State.
Yeah, Conlon, as you had said, a freshman coming out of Hoover, Alabama, 2022 Junior National Duels Freestyle All-American.
Conlon won his wrestle-offs against Junior Erickson Velasquez. Erickson out right now. Gotta say, I've been impressed with Conlon. Right now he's got a front headlock. Stalemate. They'll reset.
Not a bad start for Conlon, especially in his dual meet debut, going up against quite the opponent of Ohio State's Seth Shoemate.
working in the shot there. Conlon keeping that ankle, making it difficult. He's got to get off. Keeps his hips high. He's got to adjust. He's trying to sit. Still fighting, still nothing. He's got to get his... And that'll do it. It'll be takedown for Shoemate. Excuse me, Hoffman. That's Hoffman. Bring it 3-0 halfway through this first period. Good fight by Conlon, good scramble. Now he's got to work up to his base.
Yeah, at that point it's just kind of experience over skill. Graduate student Gavin Hoffman coming out of Montersville, Pennsylvania, going up against the freshman.
And he'll let Conlon up for 1 point escape. Some heavy hand fighting.
Conlon 3-3 right now on the season, going 2-1 in the Journeyman Classic, beating Anthony D'Alicio of LIU as well as Luke Isaac of Arizona State.
Hoffman will use a double to get his second takedown of the match.
Conlon also picked up a win against Princeton's Anthony Moscatello, beat him 9-0. It's a different story right now against Ohio State's Gavin Hoffman.
Hoffman, of course, coming in, number 10 guy. Stall warning on Conlon. A true freshman and a number 10 grad student is quite the difference, as Hoffman sets up an armbar here as they conclude the first period. 6-1, minute 19 of riding time. Conlon will get choice as he consults with Papadopoulos. He'll defer as he consults with his coach a little bit more.
Yeah, and
he'll pick bottom. He'll take back the deferred. Hoffman is indicating that he's going to do a modified start just to let Conlon up for that easy escape.
Yeah, it's just experiences like that that just show the freshman and kind of still working his way, still trying to figure things out. Mm-hmm. Earlier in Wrestleloff's, Coach Papadopoulos said this is the best freshman class he's had in a while, and with a guy like Conlon, I can understand why he's going with that.
Hoffman in on a shot here. He's going to give him the takedown. Coach Papadopoulos is going to say that was too quick of a call. As they reset for that being a stalemate. Hoffman once again indicating he's going to do a modified start. Let Conlon up.
1 point escape for Conlon.
Make 9-3 right now in the second period. Hoffman in on a shot. Conlon using a crotch lock. Try to stop him from getting that 3 points. Conlon's got to work his legs back so he can get out of this situation, and that'll be a takedown for Hoffman. Make it 12-3. Minute 30 of riding time with 45 seconds left in the second period. But as you were saying, Peter, lots of freshmen coming in. We'll see a lot of the freshmen making their dual meet debut today. It's a big group of guys. Actually, most of this lineup is new this year, considering several freshmen and then a transfer in Keaton Kluver up at 285. That's a match to watch. And then Dylan Ryder making his return at 125 for the Pride.
Absolutely senior Dylan Ryder. one of the upcoming matches that you really need to watch out for. But Ryan Arvite making his debut, dual meet debut, also another freshman coming out of Wantagh. Other than that, we have Noah Tapia. He'll be having his dual meet debut. And then
Frank Volpe.
Frank Volpe will finish that out in that group of freshmen. So 4 freshmen making their debut so far.
Yeah. And then just looking at our lineup, Nick Miller will make his starting debut, kind of. He was not technically the starter last season with Trey Rogers, obviously dominating getting most of the starting meets, being the starter for most of the meets, excuse me. Back to match here. Hoffman will get the escape, put him up 13-3 in this third period. We are approaching, could be approaching tech fall territory now as he gets another 3 takedown to bring it up to 16-3. Conlon, though, has been fighting hard in a match that as he's in on a shot. See if he can finish the shot, as he's a little flattened out at the moment. Hoffman breaks his lock and gets a 3 of his own. 19-4, and that'll be a tech fall for Hoffman. And that'll bring Ohio State's score up 14-0 against the Pride.
And on the technical fall at 184 pounds, Gavin Hoffman defeats Will Conlon.
Quite the dominant day for Ohio State, as they were up at Columbia earlier today where they won 49-0. So
Yeah, they definitely had their warm-ups earlier with Columbia, and now doing what they can to sort of finish their day off strong here against the Pride, but not if junior Nick Miller has anything to do about it. Right now, 2-1 on the year. Beat John Souza of LIU and Thomas Godby of Army West Point.
Miller's taking on Luke Giog, number 14 or number 19 ranked, depending on what ranking system you're looking at, as Giog gets on double, really bundles up Miller's legs to get that 3, start this match off. Using a spiral ride. Miller gets out for an escape. Fairly quickly on the escape there. I'll go back to hand fighting.
Yeah, well said. The quick start for the red-shirted freshman in Giog, trying to pick up and keep the momentum in his favor right here, with Nick Miller getting the escape, trying to claw his way back.
Ohio State's lineup is also fairly young, a lot of redshirt freshmen. Obviously, they took a year, got some matches under their belt first. As Miller looks to set something up. Gets an underhook. As Giog will take a shot and get 3. Bring it up 6-1. That was a very quick shot. Easy takedown for him. See if Miller can work up like he did earlier. Giog was working a 2-on-1. Miller got his hands out of that as he was trying to build to his base. Trying to control hands. As Giog sets up a 2-on-1 tilt. Looking to get some near fall. Ref swiping, that'll be, see how many near fall. He'll award 4 near fall to bring it up 10-1 for Giog. About 40 seconds left in this first period.
Giog 2-0 on the year right now, beating Andy Smith of Virginia Tech and Jack Kilner of Edinburgh. And Virginia Tech right now, number 3 ranked in the NCAA. Ohio State ranked 6th, and you can see why after the performance these athletes have put on so far today.
As we wind down this first period, 10-1, 1:52 on the riding time clock. Miller's going to defer. Giag will take bottom. I believe that's what he motioned for. Yep. They get set. Giag quick set out, easy escape. 11-1.
Just a spin too quick for Nick Miller on that one. Gets himself the easy escape point.
As he's working on a shot, and he'll get another takedown to bring it up to 14-1. Working another tilt. Trying to get his near fall points. Miller's fighting. And we'll see what the ref rewards. That'll be 4, and that will do it for this match. A 18-1 victory for the Buckeyes. Again, it will put them up 19-0 over the Hofstra Pride. But that's okay, because we've got Keaton Kluver next. The transfer from Minnesota, ranked number 20 right now, as he takes on Nick Feldman, who is ranked number 17 or 19. This is quite the matchup. We've got Kluver, the grad student, Feldman, the redshirt freshman. This is a pretty significant match to have so early in the season, after Kluver beat Luis Fernandez of Cornell, who was ranked number 11 at the Journeyman Classic.
Probably the most anticipated matchup of the day in Feldman and Kluver. Kluver right now 3-0 on the year.
As Feldman gets takedown there off of Kluver, trying to set up his own shot. Nice re-attack by Feldman. Feldman, of course, the number 1 pound-for-pound recruit of the 2022 class.
1 point escape for Kluver.
Kluver getting an escape, and a quick response by Feldman for another takedown to make it 6-1.
3 points for Feldman.
All 3 of Kluver's wins so far this year have been by pin. 43 seconds, 4 minutes and 30 seconds, and 1 minute and 25 seconds, all of which coming in the Journeyman Classic.
As Kluver works up for an escape. They're on the edge of the mat. They'll reset. 2-6 now. A little bit more aggressive than some of the earlier matches.
Kluver definitely has the size advantage in this one. I'd say he's got about 3 or 4 inches on Feldman. But then again, that doesn't always help.
As Feldman takes another shot, he'll get another takedown, make this 9-2. Not exactly what we were expecting to see from Kluver, but Feldman is fairly quick. It's been fast this whole match, excuse me. As Kluver gets another escape to make it 9-3. Feldman right away goes for another shot. Kluver trying to get some underhooks, build him up. Kluver definitely more upper body than Feldman. Very different style. See this in the heavyweights a lot. Kluver, of course, coming out of Minnesota as a heavyweight, practiced with Gable Stevenson, very significant wrestler in the wrestling world. So he's used to he's practiced against guys who take these shots at heavyweight, as he tried to set up a rush in there, trying to work up his own speed as we get down in this first period. It'll be it for the first. 9-3, minute is 6 riding time right now. Feldman will pick bottom as he gets set.
Feldman 7-0 on the year, 2-0 in dual meets. 4 of his wins come by tech fall, and with a move like that, you can understand why.
Get his escape, bring it up 10-3. As he goes for another shot, smooth transition there, get the takedown. Kluver's got to try to belly out now at the edge of the mat. 13-3. Working on the edge of the mat. They'll go out. We'll take a short break after this match before coming back to start at 125 with Dylan Ryder. As Kluver gets set.
Another one of those red-shirted freshmen you had talked about in Nick Feldman, one of the most successful freshman recruiting classes of all time, in this one with Ohio State.
It's a significant, a big group. There's a reason why Ohio State is ranked what they're ranked. Feldman is 8-0 in this season. Dominant performances as he let Kluver up for that escape, make it 13-4. 37 seconds left in this second period. Kluver during this match really stall warning on Kluver. Excuse me, not a warning. That'll be the second warning, so that'll be a point for Feldman. Make that 14-4. Very different styles here. As Feldman takes a shot, and he'll get easy takedown, make that 17-4. That'll do it for the second period. Go into the third. 17-4, minute 38 of riding time. Papadopoulos has said that he didn't think the three-point takedown was really going to make much of a difference, but I gotta say, the quickness that tech falls come, I think it's making a difference as Feldman lets Kluver up. Feldman is one takedown away from a technical fall here.
Absolutely. We've seen 3 tech falls already today out of the 4 matchups we've seen. And trying to prevent, and that will do it. Another tech fall that makes it 4 on the day for Ohio State.
That'll bring it up to 24-0 for the Buckeyes. We will take a short break and then be back. And we are back as Ohio State takes on your Hofstra Pride here at the first dual meet of the season for the wrestling team. 24-0 right now. The Buckeyes in the lead. So they've dominated this meet as they did against Columbia earlier today. And we will move to 125 pounds as Dylan Ryder makes his return home after 2 seasons off. He of course competed earlier at the Journeyman Classic, but this is his first dual meet of the season, and he will take on Brendan McCrone, redshirt freshman, another one of those redshirt freshmen, Ryder the senior.
Well, in this one we're going to see if experience can outmatch skill with interesting start here for Ryder.
That was quite the scramble. Ryder on his head at one point. Still working through positions here. That was quite the sequence. Wish we could replay that for you. They're still going though. Quite an awkward spot here for Ryder. Still working. He's got to be a little bit careful to not get exposed there. Still holding on to McCrone's leg. Still working. They're in quite the spot here. McCrone's got kind of a reverse crotch lock. Nothing, no points have been awarded. Ryder's got to find a way to work out of this. There's been nothing yet.
Takedown awarded.
It's a little premature of the scorekeeper here. Don't think the ref indicated anything. Either way, this is quite the sequence. As McCrone has Ryder in a cradle of sorts. Ryder gets out of that. They have 4 near fall. To put McCrone up. Excuse me. Score was a little weird. It's 7-1. I don't know if that was 4, but I'm not the ref. But good to see some action from the Pride after a series of losses.
Well said. Could be argued in Ryder's favor. Either way, senior coming out of Dix Hills went to Half Hollow Hills West, a school that has produced many of wrestling talent. As you had said, Ryder took 2 years off, but when coming back, went 2-1 in the Journeyman Classic. Beat Robert Howard of Penn State, and kind of got predicted to beat that one by Papadopoulos. Papadopoulos went into that one saying he was going to end up out on top, and then ended up finishing the day beating Ashton Jackson of Purdue. Ended up beating him 13-2.
And the first period will end. We'll start the second 7-1. 35 seconds of riding time. This is the best the Pride has looked so far in a match against the Buckeyes. New assistant coach Cody Russell kneeling on the edge of the mat. Very into this match.
Yeah, earlier in the matchup I would have said Will Conlon was having the best day for the Pride, but right now Dylan Ryder is taking that spot.
He starts on top in the second period. Ryder is historically tough on top. He's trying to set up a turn here. He's got to try to not get too high or get called for potentially dangerous, as he got called several times in the Journeyman Classic. Russell yelling out some instructions. Ryder did get too high, so McCrone will get a reversal for 2 points there. So one of the difficulties was riding legs. Put us at 9-1. McCrone coming in ranked either number 32 or number 19, depending on what stat system you're using. And he is 7-2 on the season, I believe.
Yeah, McCrone right now 6-2, 2-0 in dual meets, 3 by fall.
As he's got Ryder for that was a very quick call by the ref for a pin. Just a cradle there, I believe, and that'll put the Buckeyes up 30-0. That was rather quick on the call, but I am not the ref once again. And we'll move to 133, where Ryan Arbite will make his dual meet debut. Chase Liardi, sadly, is not the starter for 133 for the Pride. Chase Liardi wrestled at Ohio State. He was the transfer to the Pride last season, but he is out. So Ryan Arbite, freshman, he will be taking on Kazakis of Ohio State, ranked number 16 or number 13.
And another redshirted freshman in Nick Bouzakis. The freshman in full swing right now.
As Bouzakis gets first takedown.
Hofstra holding their own, doing what they can against the powerhouse Ohio State wrestling. As we had said, down 30-0 thus far.
As Bouzakis sets up a cradle. Nasty, it's tight. Arbite really trying to fight. Hard to fight from here. Still trying to fight. And that'll be another quick pin called to put Ohio State up 36-0 against the Pride.
Minute and 3 seconds on the clock for that one. And that'll bring an end to Arbite's day.
Next up, continuing on this young group for Hofstra, with, once again, a lot of their starters are out right now due to injury, sadly. So Justin Hoyle, who we had expected to be at 141, is out right now, and Turley, the sophomore, will take his spot at 141 against Cannon of Ohio State.
Turley 2-3 on the year. He beat out Cam Ice for this 141 spot.
Turley moving up from 33 last season. He's a freshman. Brandon Cannon, I want to say true freshman here at 141.
That he is coming out of Denver, Colorado. He's 4-0 on the year.
Cannon not normally the starter for Ohio State. Normally it's Mendez, but Mendez was at a freestyle tournament this weekend. So Cannon has taken his spot against Columbia and Hofstra. Nevertheless, very talented group, Ohio State. All their starters and non-starters. Working through some, nice snatch single by Cannon. Still working to finish though. Turley locking around the body. So they're on the edge of the mat. Coach is calling for him to scoot. Take it out of bounds. Still barely in. Still point of contact. And they'll rule it a takedown to put Cannon up 3-0 against Turley. Turley, one of the guys that Coach said has really improved over the summer. A lot of guys for the Pride have really improved. Of course, this is a hard to gauge their improvement against number 6 team.
Well said, they're holding their own in the powerhouse matchup against Ohio State. Just to highlight the Tom Ryan era of Ohio State. 3-time Intermat National Coach of the Year, 2-time NCAA Head Coach of the Year, 3-time Big Ten Coach of the Year. Ended up capturing a 2015 NCAA National Championship, second place in 2008, 2009, 17, 18, and 19. So quite the successful past couple of years for Ohio State wrestling under the Tom Ryan era. Before Tom Ryan ended up going to Ohio State, as we had said, was right here at Hofstra. Head coach of Hofstra from 1995-2006, earned 7 Conference Coach of the Year awards, 2-time New York State Coach of the Year, and ended up leading the Hofstra Pride to 6 consecutive conference crowns and a 47-match league unbeaten streak.
And you could say his history continues today, as he coached head coach Dennis Papadopoulos, who is entering his 10th year with the Pride. Fun fact. Turley still on bottom here. 3-0. Not as high scoring as some of the previous matches as we wind down in this first period. Over a minute and 30 on riding time.
No, he's one takedown away from being right back in this one.
The second period. Cannon will take bottom.
Need to add, he's also got a minute and 42 seconds of riding time, so he's got that in his favor. If and eventually, hopefully, Turley is able to.
Turley put a leg in there, but got. Cannon was able to create some distance to get the reversal for 2 more points, bring it up 5-0. As he started to let Turley up, but contact was never broken. So no points that. There's the escape for Turley. Stall warning on Turley. They're working on the edge of the mat.
Two and 3 on the air for Turley, as they are eventually pushed out of bounds. 2 and 3 on the air for Turley. His 2 wins came in the Journeyman Classic, beating Thomas Volpe of Sacred Heart and LIU's Noah Tokabin, and then ended up going 0-2 in the Princeton Open, and trying his best to hold his own in this matchup against Brandon Cannon.
Pause right here as the referees are figuring something out. But as for the Pride, of course, Ohio State today, their next competition will be December 1st and 2nd at the Vegas Invitational. Also, the coach has said, the hardest tournament of the season. So this whole schedule, very competitive. Lots of good guys. After that, the Pride travels to Penn State December 10th and then Morgan State and Bloomsburg on the 20th, and we'll be home again here, in the MAC Physical Education Center against Edinburgh on December 22nd.
I'd have to say that scheduling, as you had said, facing the Las Vegas tournament, I'm actually a fan of that. Facing your toughest opponent and then going right into your toughest tournament, I think that gets them primed to be better situated to face their opponents when they get sent to Nevada.
Coach and some of the wrestlers have said it's helpful to get some extremely tough matches out of the way at the beginning of the season so they can prepare better for postseason and not just have that be the most competitive part of their schedule. It's testing these guys early on. As Stall warning again on Turley, that'll be a point for Cannon. It'll be 10-1 right now as we wind down in this second period.
That's the end of period 2.
And Turley will get choice. Take neutral. Looking to get a takedown. Get some distance between Cannon's lead. Turley working a front headlock. Nice slide by Cannon. Ohio State guys, they're quick, and they're tough, and they're strong, which we have seen a lot of today. 13-1 right now. As Cannon started to let Turley up. There's the escape. Make it 13-2 as they continue on the edge of the mat. And that will be another takedown, bringing up 16-2. 1 point away from technical fall. See what Cannon does here with a minute left in this third period. Turley just trying to fight to stay in this.
Yeah, and if Turley can, he'll be the first Pride wrestler in about the last 4 matches we've seen to go the whole 3 periods. Past few being conquered via pin or tech fall.
As Cannon tries to set up a till here, and Turley tries to take advantage of it. Look to get in a better position, but he can't. No points awarded there though for near fall, so try to finish out this match. Just give a regular decision. Or excuse me, a major decision. As we wind down here. It'll technically be 17-2 with the riding time point. I believe it'll still be counted as a major decision. Yes, still a major decision. So that will put it up, the Buckeyes, to 40-0 against your Hofstra Pride. And now we've got 2 freshmen for the Pride to finish off this dual meet at 149. Noah Tapia. And he will take on Dylan D'Amelio, number 5 or number 7, depending on your ranking system. D'Amelio, a redshirt senior, against Tapia, the true freshman.
Highest ranked wrestler right now in Dylan D'Amelio, as you'd said, ranked number 5 right now in the 149 division. So it looks like Tapia's got a tough opponent ahead, but staying in it quite well thus far. We're at 30 seconds in.
Yeah, Tapia's been more on the offense than some of the other wrestlers of the Pride we've seen. Tapia, I believe, has a background in Greco, which would make sense why he's been working this Russian and some more upper body attacks. Tapia is projected to be the starter for the Pride at 149 after his wins at Wrestle-Offs.
That's right, he pinned Dylan Zenian about 2 minutes and 42 seconds in during Wrestle-Offs and earned himself that spot. So the freshman out of Moline, Illinois, holding his own quite well.
As D'Amelio is working on a single here. No points. Tapia tries to roll out of that. D'Amelio will get takedown 3-0 halfway into this first period. Tapia trying to work up. Trying to control hands as he gets to his base. D'Amelio will let him out for an escape. D'Amelio quick on another shot. Trying to work around. Tapia trying to hold on to the body. Holding on to an ankle. And that'll be another takedown for D'Amelio. Make it 6-1.
Speaking of 6-1, D'Amelio is 6-1 on the year. 1-1 in dual meets.
Using a Turk here, trying to get some near fall. Bringing Tapia's foot up in a very uncomfortable spot for him. Can't really fight here. Hands on his face. As he gets to his stomach. That'll be 4 near fall. Bringing up 10-1 there as he was working. D'Amelio working a 2-on-1 now. Spiral ride. Tapia just trying to fight to stay in this match. Had a good start. Good look at the beginning, but D'Amelio is number 5 or number 7, depending on your ranking system. That'll be it for the first period. 10-1, minute 18 of riding time. Tapia will take bottom to start this second period. Of course, after this, we have another freshman with Frank Volpe, and then that'll be it for Hofstra's first duel of the season. But that's not it for Hofstra Sports tonight, as the men's soccer team is competing in the NCAA tournament against Yale here at 6.
That's right, first matchup of the NCAA tournament for the Pride. They ended up winning the CAA championship last week, and we were all very proud of them. That's their 3rd straight CAA championship in a row.
D'Amelia's got a cradle locked up here. Tapia trying to make it hard for him to finish it. He'll let it go. Tapia fighting to stay in this. As he works up and gets an escape. Bring it 10-2. About a minute left in the second period. Over 2 minutes of riding time on the clock. Two
pins on the year for D'Amelio. Hasn't really had the opportunity to do that today. Tapia has been pretty scrappy on the ground.
It's true, he stayed in this well for a true freshman. As he's get stall warning. As D'Amelio works for another takedown, make it 13-2. About 20 seconds left in the second period.
Tapia had a pretty successful high school career. Ended up going 163-13.
That's impressive. A lot of these freshmen are coming in. Fairly impressive stats for the Pride. Like you said earlier, coaches said that this is one of the most impressive freshman classes in program history. 16-2 as we start neutral in this third period.
Tapia won a state championship his sophomore year of high school and ended up being a 2-time runner-up in the years that followed. So Tapia has seen success in his career, and it'll be interesting to see how this guy develops over the course of this season and the seasons to come.
D'Amelio in on a shot right now, trying to come up back, working around. Tapia holding onto that crotch lock. Trying to stop himself from getting tech falled, as that will do it. 19-2. And the Buckeyes will move to 46-0 against your Hofstra Pride. Of course, they beat Columbia 49-0 earlier in the day, so dominant day for the Buckeyes.
No, and it just showcases the expertise in such a powerhouse program that has seen so much success in the last 20 years. So a lot of good going on right now for the Buckeyes so far today.
Got another freshman here at 157, Frank Volpe, excuse me. Then we got Patty Gallagher coming in at number 17 or number 15. Quick to a shot here. Working a single, and he'll get the takedown. Start this match off quick. He'll let Volpe up for an escape. Honestly, quite the... If you're a freshman for the Pride, and you're told your first dual meet ever in college is going to be against Ohio State. I've been fairly impressed with the fight they've given.
No, you know what I'm saying? If I'm Coach Papadopoulos after today, you can only go up from here.
Well, considering the next duel is Penn State, they've got a tough road ahead of them, but that's okay.
Absolutely. Penn State, also a school that has produced so much talent in the wrestling world. Bo Nickel, the name that usually comes to mind when I think of a Penn State wrestler. Having himself a pretty successful UFC career so far right now.
It is true. Penn State's got lots of star guys, so that'll be a good meet to watch on December 10th. Back to this match, Volpe down 2-6, just under a minute 30 left in this first period. Gallagher's been pretty quick to let him up. Not a lot of riding time as he gets another takedown, make it 9-2.
Volpe still looking for his first win of the year. Ended up going 0-2 in the Princeton Open.
Volpe, another one of those guys who was not projected to be a starter, we should say, for the Pride, with Jarius Clark being out for this dual meet, unfortunately.
Yeah, just a bit of misfortune for the Pride so far this week. On Wednesday, Jarius Clark ended up breaking his nose. And earlier in the week, Chase Liardi broke his nose the same way.
Liardi's nose, I believe, has been bothering him for a while. Of course, no, not confirmed, as they sit sideline with some bandages on the nose. Not an uncommon injury, should we say. As Volpe works for an escape, Gallagher quick to the leg for another takedown. Make it 12-3 as we get to the end of this first period. Gallagher dominant on top, keeping Volpe very flat. We'll enter the second. 12-3. Volpe will take bottom as he gets set. Gallagher will start with a modified start, allowing Volpe to get that escape to make it 4-12.
Paddy Gallagher only one loss on the year. Other than that, he's 6-1, 1-1 in dual meets. 2 of those wins came by tech fall, 1 came by pin.
As he's in another shot here, and he'll get the takedown, bring it up 18-4. Excuse me, 15-4. Volpe works out of an awkward position there. So he's just trying to build his base. Very difficult, though, where his legs are at. He's got to get out of that. He does. Still working.
Those 4 escape points that Volpe has right now are the most by the Pride on the day so far.
He'll get another escape. Make it 5-15. Gallagher hasn't really tried any. That'll be another takedown for him. 18-5 and a point awarded for stalling. Make that 19-5. 1 point away from a tech fall. Hasn't been able to turn Volpe. That's been the takedown and escapes you've seen instead. He's got a spiral ride here. As we get to the end of the second period.
It's the end of the second period.
And they'll start in neutral. Gallagher 1 takedown away from ending this dual meet. Volpe's got 2 minutes to fight.
The freshman Volpe, a local boy coming out of Hopog. Quite a few Long Islanders right now on this team. Pretty stark in contrast to Ohio State. Only, I'd say, half the team of Ohio State right now is actually from Ohio.
It's true. Lots of Ohio, lots of Pennsylvania. Of course, one of the premier wrestling states.
We saw that with Nick Miller. Nick Miller, I'd say one of our better players coming out of Pennsylvania.
And that'll do it with a 22-5 win for Gallagher. They'll bring the Ohio State score up to, I believe it should be 52-0. Right now showing 51-0. Either way, dominant performance by the Buckeyes as they had quite the day, putting up the 49-0 win against Columbia, and then this big win against Hofstra here today. Got to see a lot of the freshmen compete in their first dual meet for the Pride against a very tough opponent here in the MAC Sports Complex. That's going to do it. Of course, the Pride, their next competition will be at the Vegas Invitational on December 1st and 2nd. The next time they will be home in the MAC Physical Education Center will be against Edinburgh on Friday, December 22nd. And we will be there with you again right here on the YouTube stream. I'm Olivia Hosted, joined by Peter Nicolino, and that'll do it. Have a good night.